Well, thank you guys. We're going to talk about the new, what's going on now, and the next in mobile, and mostly about advertising. Some things will be technical things to do with your mobile websites, things like that. But I am Lance Bachmann. I'm the president of One SEO. We're a digital marketing firm based right outside of Philadelphia. We have close to about 70 employees. We do paid, we're a Google Premier Partner. We do SEO, remarketing, social media, app development. So we're a full digital agency. You know, the reason why I really love this space is I was one of the founders of yellowpages.com. I left there being the vice president of AT&T, and we knew the space was constantly changing. So really what I try and always look at is where is it going? And I think as advertisers, and just get a real quick applause round here. Raise your hand if you have a digital marketing agency or you work for an agency. How many, only a few of your agencies. How many are in-house? How many of you have your own business? Okay, great, cool. So for those of you that are with agencies, you'll be able to take a lot of this stuff back and apply it to your agency for your consumers and customers. And those of you in your own businesses, you'll be able to actually implement some of the stuff we talk about today. And if you have any questions about implementation, just let me know. So, and just so you know, I bought the brand new Apple Touch computer, and it has no USB ports, so you cannot use a clicker. So I won't be moving from the podium. So, all right. So, what we're going to cover here today. Why is mobile so important? Where is it heading in the years to come? And I'm going to give a 3, 4, 5 look out to where it's going, where it's at now. Especially with apps, we're going to talk about apps and beacon technology. And I think the biggest disruptor that we're going to see as digital marketers is how do we get our clients or ourselves in front of our consumer with voice search? And I think, you know, if anyone listened to Google's earnings report last quarter, this was a question a lot of analysts brought up is, how is voice search going to affect your earnings and what we wind up doing as marketers? So I think that's going to be pretty cool. We're going to talk about that today. The advancement of mobile with AMP and expanded text ads. We're going to talk about expanded text ads and those type of things. What comes next with mobile marketing and some of the changing technology of what's going to happen and where it's going on mobile. You know, the one thing I say to people all the time is whether you have your own agency or you work for an agency or you have your own business, you can take a few things from this slide. As you can see here, digital marketing is still growing. So we're going to do about $68 billion in digital marketing spend in the United States here in 2015. It's going to be at $93 billion by 19 in 3 years. So if you have your own business, I can tell you this, it's going to get more competitive. Rates are going to go up. Things are going to increase, just like we've seen. And if you have an agency, you're really going to have to rely and communicate to your customers that your old budget is not going to be able to be used moving forward. You're going to have to increase your budget. You're going to have to compete. More people are coming online and competing. And you want to make sure you're maximizing your budget, which takes me to this slide, which I don't think will surprise anyone in the agency business whatsoever. I think when you see this, you're like, it sounds about right. 55, this is according to Greg Sterling. There was a survey done by 2 colleges. They did 2,000 consumers and they did 200 brands, and they surveyed them all about mobile, and they actually audited what was going on. They found out that 55% of the ad spend was being wasted. It didn't shock me coming from the agency business at all, because when we bring clients on and we do audits, it's amazing to me what clients just aren't doing simple things. But when people talk about you, if you have your own business, about what does that consumer want, who should you be in front of, a lot of people miss this key point. The consumer and the brand both want the same thing, and this is done by the survey. Take a look. Minimum disruption in the current activity of what they're doing, right? Then you also have ad functionality, display quality from the consumer side they want. Relevant to my interest. Are you serving me information that I'm even interested in, right? From the brand side, this is what they want. Are they relevant? Is the individual relevant to me, to our brand, right? That's who they want to be in front of. Functionality, both the same. And minimum level of disruption. And, you know, I thought that was pretty significant that both the consumer and brand want the same exact thing on their mobile devices and experience. So now how do you match them to? They're the most important things to both. And we're going to talk about that. When you look at the time on site on mobile, if you take a look right here, 51% of all time people are being connected is spent on a mobile device. I mean, if you think about that growth and you see the trajectory, it's just going to keep going and going more and more. And you're going to see a slide in here that's going to be, you're going to say, no way could it be true, and I verified it 3 times over. It's 100% true when you get into what the spend is on mobile. It's pretty amazing. Right here is television versus mobile. You can see time on your vertical device is almost catching up to television, which is horizontal in your house. And I mean, it's pretty crazy if you think about it, for actually just time on site. This was always interesting. This came out about 7, 8 months ago at Rock Digital. I think Barry Schwartz or Eric Stong from Stone Temple actually did this slide, and I thought it was pretty fascinating when they showed it. 90% of people on their mobile device are on apps. But yet as digital marketers, we're not putting our advertising money into apps. It's very small, but 90% of it is on apps. And if you take a look at it, Facebook is a big piece of the app world. Messaging on social media is a big piece. YouTube, entertainment, gaming, and utilities. You know, the reason why I put browsers in here and why I think it's so important that people know, you have to look at where people are starting on their browsing experience. Chrome, Safari, and the other ones make up the other amount, which is a serious piece to make sure your sites are optimized for those browsers and loading fast. This right here is the biggest slide that should make you all feel good if you work for an agency or you own your own business, or this is going to be the biggest key takeaway you take from here. When you take a look at this print, which we know is an atrocity for people that spend their money on print, we still have people that come to us and say, my print, my print, my print. And I always look at that person and I say to myself, you know, you're so ridiculous because it's the only thing you can touch, feel, and see. You feel so good about driving down, seeing your billboard, your newspaper ad, your magazines, because it's a deliverable that you can see, where digital marketing, you have to actually understand and look at it and understand metrics. But you can see print, the spend is so high, but the usage is just not even there, insignificant. Radio spend is increasing a little bit, but the usage is decreasing. Television, both are decreasing. Internet, you can see, is on the rise, but yet going down. But mobile, look at the amount of opportunity. If you just jumped on mobile today and started advertising, people just are not using it. They don't understand it. They're not taking advantage of everyone else putting mobile first. Mobile is the first thing. Look around you. Everyone has your phones in front of you or on you within the side of a foot. The average person touches their phone 165 times a day. But yet as marketers, we're not making it a mobile-first marketing experience. Right here is for the search side. I think is very important that people see this. 48% of any person opening up a browser will go to a search engine. Google, as we know, is 91% of those. When you look at branded websites, 33% go to a branded website, 26% go to a branded app. As you know, apps are also now showing up in the SERPs. I hope everyone knows that, but we'll talk about that. So what is considered mobile? You know, there's many different things that people consider mobile, and what I consider mobile is, you know, pretty straight, is anything that connects to the internet, lets you have an experience, an ambiguous experience, and even a wearable, something that you could bring and travel with you, a tablet, and lets you connect and see information that you would not be able to see if you were not connected to things. So, I mean, it makes a broad statement with that. But when you take a look at it and you go into the next things is, when we're on the go with mobile as constantly as we are, you know, people don't realize, you know, we have clients that come to us and they say, I lost all my traffic, I can't find myself in Google, and the first thing we say is, hey, were you hit with a mobile update? Well, what do you mean? Is your site mobile friendly? No. And you're like, you're a large brand, small or mid-sized brand, and why would you not think your consumers are finding you on mobile and using that mobile experience? So Google, as you know, if your site is not mobile friendly, they will just de-index the site pretty much totally besides branded queries for the most part. So they actually came out and said that. Now, a woman just came up to me earlier, I'm not going to point her out because she was super nice, she let me use her iPhone charger, and she said, I really get no mobile traffic, I get no traffic to my website, no organic, I used to get 6 million visitors a month, now I'm down to 2 million, they all come from social, and I just said, and then she has a pretty cool thing, it's, you know, about mothers, does she get it, about women, and I said, is your blog AMP friendly? And she goes, I don't know what that is. Simple things like that we're going to talk about, where you have to make sure your mobile website is set up for what they want: speed, delivery, all those things. Where do we stand now? Does everybody know that you can have your app now show up in the mobile searches? Does everyone understand that? So if you were on an app, you do a query. So let's just say you're a realtor and you're on Trulia and you don't want people to come to your website, but you want them to go to Trulia, and people have the Trulia app. You can actually pay that and actually have them click directly to your Trulia profile, help increase your conversions if your site is not a good site, if you don't feel like making them both. So that's a big piece that people need to know. I don't think a lot of people know that. Beacon technology, I think this is one of the least things as digital marketers we don't use. Who here has a business where people actually come into, or an app? Okay, so if any of you do, okay, so a few of you. So if you are an agency and you have people that have apps, so we were the casino, and they asked us to come and talk to them. So we came in, we talked to them, and we're having a conversation. I said, listen, you guys have an app, you have 3 different revenue sources that you're trying to increase your business. I said, why not put Beacon technology in here, and when someone gets done your concert, shoot them some information about, hey, come get a drink over at Chicky and Pete's, come get a drink over at this place, or a discount to a food thing. And it was funny because the people that were on board were the marketing people. The people that actually had to do the work and the development side shot the idea down and said, we don't want to feel like building an app and doing Beacon technology, which is, right, always the thing. But when you look at that, Beacon technology can help you drastically with mobile for your clients. Voice search. Like I said, I think this is going to be the biggest disruptor. And the reason why I won't come to any conclusions on how this is going to finally end, because I've read now probably 300 articles of how it's going to change. And I don't believe people really know yet, because who here has Google Home, Echo, any of these devices in their house? It's pretty amazing what you can do with them, right? I mean, you can literally find your local plumbing contractor without ever even seeing their website, talking to them. You can buy a product on an e-commerce site without ever even getting into seeing the site. So, I mean, when you look at this, you got to say, how as advertisers, we're going to make sure that we're in front of that voice command. I do believe all these people have a vested interest, because they're going to make the majority of their money not selling the devices, but by having advertising on the devices. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. What's now on mobile? We talked about this, AMP. Does everybody here know what AMP is? Does everybody have AMP on their website? I mean, it's kind of old. You're going to have to put this on there, accelerated mobile pages. You're not sure. Make sure you have any questions, let me know. Make sure this is on your site, on your blog. Make sure Google, who here knows all Google expanded ad text for your PPC? Is all of them expanded ad for your mobile? Make sure this is done. Actually, your old ads after, I think, January will not be able to even be changed if they're not expanded. You'll have to just keep running the same ads, which is terrible for you as digital marketers. If you look at the increased ad spend, went up 40% last year, and it's going to grow again by 40% in 2017. 60% of Google's net global ad revenue comes from mobile. Think about that. Nearly 75% will come by in next year. If that doesn't tell you where Google makes up over 90% of their revenue is from Google ads, where they're heading and where search is going, then you're just missing. This is where your consumer is. This is where your clients are on mobile devices. Expect new options. I thought the last point here was pivotal, because when I read that Facebook Messenger was coming out with ads, I was like, that's crazy. It's so intrusive. But if you think about it, Facebook has to optimize every piece of way of making money and monetize it, right? So, but if I'm sitting there and let's just say I'm talking to an old high school sweetheart and I want to take her out to dinner, and I say, listen, let's grab dinner at Applebee's. Imagine if that Applebee's coupon for $10 just shows up in your messenger. There's a very good chance you're going to convert now, because you just got a 10% coupon to Applebee's. You probably won't change destinations. When you think about that also is Facebook just came out and said they're going to put it also in video. Did you see that? Did everyone know that? They're actually going to start putting ads and trying to put it based on your demographics into the videos. So that's going to be huge on mobile, because let's be realistic. Facebook said point blank, video. They're a video organization, where Google's saying we're a mobile organization. I think they're both getting to the same point, but they're both having 2 different ways of saying it. So WhatsApp app, WeChat, you're going to see all these different apps where you're going to see ads coming in, and you want to monetize that if it's the right demographic for you. In beta now, I think this is pretty Cool, you can have a CRM system, drop cookies on it, have people follow around, and make sure it's customer match. So for remarketing, which is pretty cool for cross devices. They didn't have it before, they have it now to ensure that you're constantly in front of your customer base. And this is pennies on the dollars for what you wind up spending compared to general advertising. In beta, shopping, PLA, customer match, as you can see right here. This is a no-brainer. Does anyone here use customer match for just regular search? It's the same exact theory as this for PLAs, and you're gonna see your cost per conversion a lot lower. Right here, AdWords AMP. You know, Google's right now in beta test doing this right now, taking certain advertisers and making AMP version landing pages and having the ad spend go directly to there and seeing how it's converting and what's going on is the end user experience a lot better. I think you're gonna see a lot more of this. I think this is gonna become a lot more mainstream as things go on. Promotion extensions, I mean, every one of you, I'm assuming, are using these by now in beta. When they come out, this will be a no-brainer. It's gonna be that you can put your promotions right in there, especially you as affiliate marketers. This is gonna be huge for you, that you can actually increase your click-through rate drastically with this on mobile. I mean, if you think about what Google's done with Google pay-per-click on mobile devices, when you go down that and you look at it, the first 2, 3, you really have to scroll down to get to organic. So, I mean, you really gotta take a look at that. Right here, this is pretty amazing because as you know, 90% of the time spent on your mobile phone is on an app. But when you take a look at it, there isn't a lot of app advertising. How many of you guys are doing app, and ladies are doing app advertising here? So at about 40, 50 people, only about 5, 10 of you. So when you take a look at that, you really want to increase that number drastically to say when this comes out, I can actually not just advertise on my apps if I want my app or my site downloaded. I can actually do customer targeting to make sure, hey, who's the people that spend the most and use the most in apps and actually market to them. So you're not just getting someone that deletes your app in 3, 4 weeks, which is worthless. It's a conversion, but it doesn't make a difference if people don't use the app itself daily. So what's next possibly? You know, I love this, the augmented reality. You know, everybody's like, how are you advertising? Who here is doing any advertising on augmented reality? All right, I appreciate the honesty because my firm's not for any clients. We have about 500 clients. So, and the reason why is because it's very hard to see what's working, what's not working, but I think you're going to see this. I think Pokemon really set the tone for this. And here's a pretty cool chart that came out from TechNavo, where if you take a look at the growth of what augmented reality is going to be, it's going to climb. There's going to be more because people like it. It's pretty cool. It's interesting. It's fun. And you can do it right by your mobile device. So I think take a look at it and make sure you pay attention to this. And Facebook and Google and Apple are all coming out by the end of this year with their own augmented reality things. So just pay attention to it because they know that is the way it's going to go. And make sure you're there when it comes out. Mobile to benefit the quality of life. You know, well, Amazon, I think, set the tone. When I saw this come out, I said, this is amazing. Everyone knows about the Amazon stores. You just walk in, you never even check out. You're going to see this happen drastically. You're going to see Walmarts have to go this route. You're going to see, because people want fast, people want easy. I don't think you'll ever be able to buy a Mac computer and just walk out on your phone unless you're a very savvy person. But I do believe you'll be able to buy a simple iPod, iPad. You'll be able to buy simple CDs or whatever it is that you're buying very easy using mobile devices. And I think Amazon is a leader and definitely leader in this. And pay attention to where it goes because you're going to see people are saying, oh, it's just shopping on the go. But it's just starting today. What does it look like 3, 4 years from now on your mobile device? Biohacking. I think this is pretty amazing. Most people don't even know this. And I think what you'll see, the millennials do this a lot more than people that are older. And I don't use the word older. I think that's not. Older is you're younger, right? A few years younger. When you look at it, you say, I can go get tattoos now. I can do additional sensing. I mean, they literally have it where you can find out where north is at all times if you want to know. They literally have it now where you have contact lenses that are going to record the whole entire time while you're doing it. This technology is there. I always say it's just a matter of entry to barrier to the market. When's the market going to be ready for it? I think the millennials And even the younger generation, millennials, will be a lot easier to say, here, let's go test this, let's do it, let's see how it works. And us as advertisers and marketers are definitely going to have to make sure we pay attention to this type of technology. Key takeaways. For our firm, everything's mobile first, no matter whether you're in the service business, you're an e-com business, no matter what your business is, everything is mobile first. We try and explain to people, if we know the majority of people are on mobile devices the majority of the day, and it's your target market, why would you not want to put mobile first? With that being said, we also know that people aren't spending the same amount of money on mobile compared to all the other platforms. We truly believe it's the entry, the barrier right now to get the lowest cost per conversions. So we're very big into that. Takeaway, depending on what business you're in, should you have an app? Should your client have an app? Should you be using apps daily? Beacon technology. I think the disruptor, like I said multiple times here today, is voice search. Where does that go for us as digital marketers and advertisers? How fast does that scale, the voice search? AMP, extended ads, those things for mobile. Mobile isn't going anywhere. That's a fact. I mean, people try to say what could replace mobile, and I read a lot of articles, people saying this could replace mobile, this could replace mobile. I don't see anything that could replace mobile when all of our devices have gotten smaller or bigger, and we carry our mobile phones with us. They asked somebody, would you rather lose your wallet or mobile phone? 90% of the people said, I'd rather lose my wallet when they were millennials and under. Think about that. I'd rather lose my wallet than my phone. Now, me, I'd rather lose my wallet and replace the phone. But, I mean, it's just a different way. So I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. We have a few more minutes. Is there any questions about mobile, any of the things we've talked about? I'll be more than glad to answer any questions you guys have. Anyone? Yes. You just come right up here to the mic.
Hi. What's your opinion on videos on mobile?
Videos on mobile?
Yes, because I see you didn't get into too much detail on that.
The reason
Where
why
do you see that technology
videos on mobile is growing
Yeah.
faster and faster. The reason why I didn't put videos on this slide, I guess we probably should have for the now. We just know that's a big part of the future. I mean, we tell people if you don't have video on your website, if you don't have video communicating to your customers, to your consumers, to your brand, everything, influencers, then you're really missing the boat. We know the majority of people are now going to watching videos on their mobiles more than ever. And I don't know the exact stat how fast it's growing, but it's growing drastically. And yes, without a doubt, I 100% would take video into any campaign.
Do you see it replacing text ads over a period of time?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Do you see it replace text ads over a period of time?
Well, I
Or
don't
do you
know.
think that is still going to stay no matter what?
I think text ads will stay no matter what. I do believe text ads will stay. I don't think a lot of people are going to watch video ads when they're on Google, where 91% of that end user goes to buy or purchase something. That's where that start process begins. So no, I don't believe that video will replace text ads any day.
But definitely has a big potential by itself.
It's going to take part of the share away, absolutely, of text ads.
Thank you.
Somebody back there had a question? Yeah.
I was just wondering what, if you think there's a sort of convergence between the App Store and mobile web, because at the moment you've got these kind of walled gardens of the Play Store and the iTunes App Store, and there sort of doesn't seem to be a great function between mobile web and apps at the moment. How do you see that convergence, or if indeed you do?
Do I think the mobile web and app store are going to come together?
Exactly.
Yes, 100%. They're going to have to. I mean, if you think about it, as marketers, we know that 90% of when people have a mobile device are on an app. So the web now, I think Google now made a very transparent move saying, hey, listen, we're going to put apps into search now. They're saying we are going to put the store and combine it with search and make them one. It hasn't happened yet, but I do think you'll see the growth happen more and more. And I think it will be one and the same in time.
How do you see Apple and Google then, if you're not on an Android device?
Well, I don't think Apple and Google are ever going to get along, right? I mean, it's all about, fighting for the same advertising dollars. I mean, I think there'll be two very distinct end users. I think if you take a look at the brand loyalty to people that use Droid, they seem to stay with it, and the same thing with iPhones, Apple people. So I think you're going to have, I think the think search is still going to be on both, but I think when you come down to the app stores, the two different stores, I think they're going to stay independent and never cross over. I just don't see that will ever happen. Okay. I don't see the benefit to it. Yeah. Anyone else? All right. Well, I thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the conference here, and I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. Thank you.